artificial codes of conduct meant to govern humans. Hold on one second. I'm going to open up the chat room because had a little bit of a delay. 1 second. Should be opening up now. I'm going to repeat this. Laws. All right, we open now. Laws. Got a full house. Good to see all y'all. Laws are artificial orders made up to govern the humans, the human race. Your religion started out as laws for the Israelites, or things they did in rituals, your laws and things like that, things that people had, higher ups and hierarchies had to give to the created ones, the lesser life forms to follow, right? But they followed a different way of doing things. They had they were outside of laws. The God race, the almond beings I'm talking about. They followed codes of conduct. What's known as codes of conduct today. Things that brought or words or rites of passage and ways of doing things that brought them greater power, greater intelligence. Whereas humans followed laws that just basically kept them in line with this planet, with the rotation, with nature, just so they wouldn't go outside, to keep them civilized. Like the only way Elijah Muhammad used to say, civilization, to civilize, to keep things in order. Laws, all laws, biological law, universal law, all laws are meant to keep order. Because without laws, there's chaos. Humans understand laws, okay? You look at the 10 Commandments, right? Unfortunately, black people who became known as the, in one of our titles and one of our names that we took on, we became known as Israelites at one point. Okay? Now, as we became known as Israelites, we went under a law. Why? Because in Egypt, and ancient Egypt, in Kemet, there was codes of conduct, or what they call 613 negative confessions. Now, the Israelites don't like to admit that their 10 commandments comes out of these 613 negative confessions of the ancient Kemites, and the 614, I believe, codes of Hammurabi, which is where you get the word rabbi from in the Jewish, as the Jewish religious leader, or the lawyer, the one who keeps the law, the rabbi, the Rabboni, right? So you take 6, 1, and 3, and you put them together. 6 and 1 is 7, and 3 is 10. So they broke 613 commandments down to 10. If you look at the crown or the fez of Amun, you see on top of it those laws, or those laws, that became commandments in Moses. Those two objects on top of his head resemble the 2 tablets that Moses had with the laws on them. Right? Now, that was taken from Amun. That proves that the laws of the ancient Kemites that they followed, the 613 negative confessions, right, was taken from the ancient Kemites of the Egyptians, the Nubians, right? And it was condensed into 10 commandments. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. You know the rest of it, right? This was necessary because the so-called Israelites fell out of touch with the law, with the codes of conduct. The law was for the lesser people, and the lesser mysteries, it was given to the people to keep civilization, because they weren't thought of to be worthy of the higher codes of conduct, the higher orders, right? They didn't understand, or it was thought that they didn't understand about how higher order and how to, operate outside laws work. They didn't think that these people were worthy of receiving higher intelligence or communication, and would understand or have an understanding of law and order and why it was necessary to keep. We're going to explain all of that tonight, the codes, the laws, and the orders of God. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares, and this is State of Mental Radio, and tonight, as I said, the codes, the powerful purpose of the codes, laws, and orders of God, Amen. Right? As I said, all things have a law. Light has a law. Water has a law, or a code of conduct, I should say. All natural things have a code of conduct. What is code of conduct? Meaning code of conduction. What is conduction? Friction, movement. You understand? As in a conduit. Right? As you might have heard that term in electricity, that which conduces or condenses power, pushes power forward. A code of conduct brings what? Power. Right? This is with the purpose of following codes of conduct with the God race followed, and how they conducted themselves, how they carried themselves amongst each other. Right? They carried themselves on a whole different other, or a higher level of intelligence, a higher level of being, beyond, a higher level of being beyond the average person. Laws were made for people who were not able to understand or were not able to see the big picture in following or making it to codes of conduct. It's the same way in the Masonic schools, where you have certain people in the first 3 degrees, and even lower, those ones in the first 3 degrees, they're pretty much following laws of the lodge. Right? Then as you get up in the upper echelon of it, certain people are following or being governed by different codes of conduct. As if you go higher up, you're led into greater mysteries and giving greater ultra standing to advanced ways of thinking. You're no longer considered to think on the same level as the average people or the average person. Works the same way with the Illuminati. They govern themselves by a whole different code of conduct. That's why they say things like they're above the law. That's what that really means when they say they're above the law. They consider themselves to be gods who are following laws of God, as gods on earth. That's how they look at themselves and how they conduct themselves. Why? Because they are operating as the law. They are operating as the order. What do they refer to their police department and everybody here? They are operating as God's hand, as keeping order, the law and order. Right? That is a commandment that was given to man to keep on the earth. The only way to be the true successor of God, Amen, on earth is to be one who keeps law and order. Right? If you are not keeping law and order, then you cannot be in tune with God, the true and living God. See, this is something black people don't understand. Right? They talk about taking the white man out of power and a revolution and things of that nature. They speak about these things, but I always say, is the black man ready to replace the current law and order that is holding this society together? Though it's not a good one, right? Though it is not a good one. Though it is not a fair one, right? It's still holding the fabric of this society together. So the beast operates as the keeper of law and order for God in place of the black man, the so-called black man. Right? This is why the so-called black man will stay powerless and the black woman will stay powerless, because we, if you notice, in the society, we are always promoted as what? Criminals. We are always promoted as going against law and order, purposely. Our people are always promoted as F the police, we outlaws, we against the law and order. I used to hear Negroes sit up here and talk about, I heard some simple-minded nigga talk about, when they was doing this no snitching thing, right? I remember they said it was this guy who goes, we don't snitch, we don't tell the police anything, right? So he goes, a reporter asked him, well, what if it was a pedophile in your neighborhood and he was molesting kids? Would you tell on him? And the guy goes, no. Right? No, you wouldn't tell on a pedophile. You understand? No, you wouldn't tell on a pedophile who was going around molesting children in the neighborhood because you following this so-called code of conduct, or, what you think is a code of conduct. You understand? They do that purposely. Right? Yeah, Cameron, that idiot said it. Yeah, thank you. That idiot said it. But he represented the mentality of what they tried to push in black people. This lawlessness, this going against order. So as long as you are against law and order, you will be out of tune with God. That's why they push that purposely. That's why they push you as the criminal on TV. They push you as the one who is against law and order. You understand? They pushed a lot of the rappers in the 90s and things like that as running away from the police, like Eazy and them, and you know, F the police. And, you know, we thought that was a rallying cry. Right? So now, if we're not standing up for law and order, if we're not standing up for keeping things in tune, keeping things structured, then can we truly be the people of God? Can we be God men and God women? Can we be our men and our women? No. That's like pulling a plug out of a wall and expecting light to come through it. You're disconnected. And these people purposely do that. The beast purposely promotes our people as that so that you will never look at law and order. You will never look at these things. You'll never look at the way of governing society as a real path to power. Excuse me, what I'm saying. There should be a path to power. You should see it as a path to power. The black man can get emotional and say everything he wants to about, he has a right to govern the planet and he wants to rule and revolution. But like I said, the black man can't even get himself together today in society. They can't agree on anything. They can't establish a society based on one ideal, one order. Right? Order is important. You have a biological order. Your body is based on order. Everything in this atmosphere is based on order, on structure. Everything is based on order and structure. So how can you be in charge of something that is not? How can you uphold something that is not? You understand that? How can you uphold and push up a society where you are in charge, where you claim to be in charge, but there's chaos, there's confusion, there's no acceptance of authority? Because if people have no acceptance of authority and are not moving in a structured manner, then there's chaos. I had Minister Farrakhan, I believe he said that, that all black men in jail should be let out and that they should be taught and that they are righteous by nature and all of this other nonsense. I mean, that's a good thought. But the reality of it is certain black men need to be in jail. Certain black men are under the submental order or should be under a submental law because they can't govern themselves on a higher level or a code of conduct. Codes of conduct are for people who think on a higher level because their whole mindset is based on power, empowering themselves. So therefore they would be governed by a whole different set of principles. Okay? The Illuminati and the higher ups, the elite, govern themselves by codes of conduct like we once did. They govern themselves the same way the ancient pharaohs did and the priest of Amun did. They governed themselves by codes of conduct, and they gave the people in the lesser mysteries religion. They gave them rituals, spirituals, the same things that trickle down into religion today, where your higher ups in your Christianity, Islam, and Judaism do the same thing. Your priests and your imams and your ministers and reverends, they don't do the same things that the people in the parishioners do. You understand? They don't do the same rituals and follow the same practices that you do, purposely, because they govern themselves by a whole different philosophy. A lot of these men are Freemasons, all right? And they look at that as the real order that they answer to. They don't answer to the same God that you answer to. They sit up there and watch you call on Jesus, Allah, Jehovah, Buddha, but as a Mason, they acknowledge Amun as God, not Jal-Balam and all these other false gods they give, but they acknowledge Amun as the true and living God. And they move on that code of conduct, which they got from us. It is a continuous conduction. It is a continuous flow of mental energy once you are governed by a code of conduct. People with laws, like I said, are primitive. Laws are given to primitive people to follow. If somebody has to tell you not to steal, if somebody has to tell you not to kill, if somebody has to tell you not to tell lies, if somebody has to, which is simple-minded things you should already know that should be instilled in you by parents and things like that, and by nature after a while, then that means you are of a lower nature. You are considered to be of a lower mindset, a submental state. The beast, like I said, the ones who are the elite, they don't govern themselves by that. This is why they do things like, they double park and triple park. They don't follow the laws of the land that they tell you to follow. They don't follow them. You understand? They say they are above the law. That's what it means when they say they are above the law, right? Because they feel as though they are beyond having to be told not to kill anybody, not to steal from anybody, because they feel they're in a place where they're beyond all that. Their mind is thinking on a higher level. Their mind is focused on future things. They see the bigger picture more than our people see. And yes, our people are out of order. Our people are out of mental order and physical order. Try to explain order and logic, the logic of order, to our people today, the black race, the so-called black race. Try explaining logic and order. I've tried it, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work when you're dealing with a bunch of scared, emotional people who are in darkness, who are in ignorance. Your black race. They don't understand the purpose of law and order and codes of conduct. The beast was supposed to be governed by law and order, right? The Amen beings gave us, the Amen race on the planet Earth, the laws and orders from on high, from that advanced state, from that future state. They gave us that from that their world to govern the humans with. Practical, everyday things to keep these beast people in line, the human race. We were supposed to be governed by a code of conduct, meaning that upon us accepting a certain idea or principles about ourselves, upon us thinking on a higher level, we can induce power within ourselves, empower ourselves. This is real. We can go and come as we please, mentally and physically. We can move about as we please, same as the beast does today. We had those same powers and then some. The powers that he just is coming in contact with for the last 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 years, we had for thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. No boundaries, no borders. We went anywhere we wanted to. We kept the order and the structure in the law. We took it as an oath from Amen, the Amen beings, the true and living God, that we would be the ones who keep the order and the law on the planet. You understand? Because without law and order, there is chaos. And with chaos, there is confusion, like we have today. No order on the planet means, like I said, our women, our children can't grow up in a stable environment because everything is chaotic. If the society or the planet was turned over to the black man today, what do you think would happen to people who don't understand or see the big picture in keeping law and order? What do you think would happen? Be total chaos. Take a look at your Israelites. Now, they're saying that they're God's elect people. Now, I listen to these guys talk, and they say, it's going to go back to a time, basically, where they were describing a medieval time of where women could just, if you saw a woman you wanted, you could just walk up to her and hit her over the head and rape her and take her just take her. This is what you go on YouTube. I'm not making this up. This is the Israelites who say they are of God and they're God's people. This is what they said is righteous of God. They said it's going to come a time where you could go over there and hit a woman over the head and just take her and rape her if you want. He said, I quoted what he said, you could rape her ass if you want to. You could take her. This is your righteous Israelite. Yeah, this is what they said. Then they said, yeah, we're just going to be taking stuff and killing people and raping women in the name of God. Are you niggas serious? Are y'all serious? Yeah, they really said that. So much so that, it's straight insanity. They really said that. But this shows you why our people are not in order. This is just so-called righteous. And they said all this stuff and reading from the Bible. You understand? That was, obviously those pages were written by a bunch of barbaric white men who they think is a god. Who they think, what right-thinking man would think that a god, a supreme being, would sanction rapings of women, would sanction killing of people, if not in defense or in self-defense? What kind of righteous God would sanction a raping of women and all this other stuff? You understand that? This is what they really think. And then they wonder why our people are not in power. They wonder why the Israelites wandered in darkness and been in bondage under people, because these people don't see the bigger picture. You can't logically think that a God would allow or be a part of some nonsense or would sanction some nonsense where there would be chaos and disorder. You understand that? When your universe, when your solar system, your planetary system, your planetary alignment, your solar system, your biological order, your earth order is all based in order, in laws. You understand? It's all based in law and orders. You understand? It's based in law and order. So if God based all this, Amen, the true and living God, Amen, a so-called black man, aka bright man, he based all of these creations and the nature, which is nothing but a system. Nature with not no woman, not no abstract idea. Nature is just a system of growth. You understand? Of natural growth. It's a system of growth on the planet. You understand? And natural order or a logical order or a biological order on the planet. That's what nature is, a biological order on the planet. If a God, a man, put an order and a law onto the planet and attached it to his creations and his manifestations, meaning the almond race and the human race, he attached in your biological system a law and an order, in the solar system a law and an order, and rotation of the planets. If he attached all this to these structures, why would he put people in charge who wouldn't keep law and order? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. Only demented people, demons, demented people would think like that. Backwards people, barbaric people, people who have given themselves over to the submental state. You understand? Barbaric white mindset. Cave-dwelling mindset. That's the minds of cavemen, black Caucasians. You understand? That's the minds of the black Caucasians. The beast loves to see our people like that. You know that, right? He loves to see our people out of order. He loves it. He loves to run out in the ghettos and bust your black ass, beat your, going. I heard the police say we like to go in the jungle and hunt down the jungle bunnies. That's what they think when they come in from Long Island, when they come in from all over the place. They come from into New York City, all over. They come to the jungle and hunt down the jungle bunnies. That's how they talk about us. Oh no, aka not us, because I'm not including myself in that madness. You understand? That's how they talk about black men, and black men hold that stupidity up like a badge of honor, being out of order, not about the law and the order, and standing up and being men and keeping law and order in the society, in the community. Black men, they stand up for that foolishness and that stupidity. You understand? And they push that in black men purposely. You understand? To turn their backs on law and order, to be responsible. They push that in your hip hop, in your music, in your R&B, in your TV shows and television programs. You understand? You see that simple-minded T-shirt where it said, if you see the cops, call the Warner Brothers sign. If you see the cops coming, Warner Brother. Oh, yeah? That's that mentality of, where the beast wants to cast you in the role as the villain, as the criminal, and he as the one who's going to keep law and order. And you black men, and the black man systematically follows this mindset. The black man systematically follows this mindset as a part of the rotation, as a part of the revolution, as a part of the submental state. He continuously follows this idea that he's the criminal in society and the beast is the law and order, when it's supposed to actually be the other way around. That's backwards. The beast is the criminal. He's the one that was supposed to be watched, and you're supposed to be the law and order. That's how you were left here as the 200 fallen angels or the 200 fallen messengers. You were meant to be the sharifs or the sheriffs on the planet, the ones who kept law and order, the army. You understand? You were meant to keep law and order over the humans. Your white man, your East Indian, your Chinese, you were meant to keep law over them. Not the other way around. Now they flipped it around on you. You understand that? The black man's proud of being a so-called outlaw and a criminal and whatnot. There was a time in the early 20s and 30s and 40s, the prisons in America was filled up with white men, Irish, Italian, Jews, white Englishmen, all that. Within 50 years, 60 years, they flipped over to now black men. Majority of black men. That tells you something. You understand that? Back in that time, all people were known to be law-abiding citizens, people who were looking to work and do better for themselves. Now you look at the black man today. He's gotten worse. He flipped the order over. He puts time and energy into making you one who is against law and order. So when he tells you you are against law and order, he's telling you you are against your nature. To be against law and order is against the black man's nature, a.k.a. the bright man. Well, in blackness and darkness and ignorance, yeah, you're going to be against law and order because everything is backwards. But as one who is coming into the light, into intelligence, you know that your true way of life, your true natural way of thinking is supposed to be one who is of law and order, one who keeps law and order. You understand? Those of our people out there, we don't like to see our neighborhoods littered with drugs and crack vials and drug deals and niggas shooting over each other's heads and fighting and whatnot. Do we like to live like that? Do we like to live like that? No. You understand? This is why they gave problems to the Nation of Islam and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when they set up the Fruit of Islam and all that. You know, they look like a police force. Just by their look alone, under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he set up a damn army. An army of men, people who was policing themselves, policing their organization, and at one point was policing communities. And the beast couldn't have that. You know? Not when he's trying to push this whole mindset of the black man's a criminal. When he needs somebody to fuel his so-called law and order system, what's the best person to fuel his law and order system? Not the white criminals. You understand? Because, see, he controls the white-collar crime or the white crime. The best ones to fuel the prison system, the bondage system, is black people. Natural resources. That's how he looks at you. That's how he looks at you when he locks your black ass up. When the DA is working, like I said, you got the DA working, you got prison guards working, you got the judge working, you got the police working, you got all these people who are getting paid. You got the guards upstate when your black ass go to prison. You got them up in the prison system. They working, so you got all these people eating off you. So the black man is a natural resource. He's like a piece of coal or a piece of coal, a bar of gold, because he can always produce income for these people, for the beast and his family. You understand that? He can always do that. You can always produce for these people. So therefore, their law and order they are charged to stay in power. You understand? They're charged to stay in power because they have to govern you. You understand? They have to govern you. They have to find a reason to lock you up. They have to find, or like I said, the black man gives the beast a reason to lock him up. He in the street smoking weed, selling drugs, shooting his gun off, acting like a savage. Is this the people of God? Is this the God race? Is these the people that understand or have an ultra standing of law and order? No. They so turned out and turned around mentally that we don't stand up for law and order. We don't stand up for what's right. No, we don't do that. The people who will have true power in the world, true power on earth, are the people who acknowledge the power of law and order. Why do you think the beast is in charge? It's not because of guns. It's not because of bombs. It's not because of brute force and strength. That's not it. He's in charge by the will of God, Amen, because he's the only one who is willing to be responsible and keep the order. God placed power in the hands of the white man because he's the only one that's willing to step up and keep order at this day and time. The black man, or should I say the bright man, is, or should I, no, well, I say the black man, his mindset is not thinking like that. Somebody has to keep order. This is how God looks at it. This is how the true and living God sees it. This is really the power of the beast, that he is willing to keep order. He's willing to keep structure. He's willing to keep law and order. You understand? The black man is not. It would be pure chaos under the black man in this mindset that he's in. You understand? It would be pure chaos. He can't step up. He can't. The black man today can't see himself going. How you prove it? You say to the average black man today, you know, won't you go and be a police officer? Young black man with no criminal. Oh, hell no, I ain't trying to be no cop. Or hell no, I ain't trying to be no DEA agent. Or hell no, I'm not trying to do this. Not because they so much hate the white man, because that's not true. They don't want to be that because they was listening to their rap songs where it says F the police and F law and order. They think it's cool to be criminals. You know, that's what the beast promotes to them in their minds and through the music and through the movies. Why? Because once he controls your mind and he gets you to think it's cool to be in that rotation where he's constantly chasing your ass down, where he's constantly he got these young guys in out here in New York and all over the world now and all over the country where it's cool to get locked up. It gives you street cred. That's how the beast promotes that, getting locked up. It's street cred when you got your hands behind your back. You a bad boy. You understand? Yo, I did a bid, son. I did a bid. You sound like a jackass, an idiot. You understand? They do that purposely so that you can keep the system going. They do that purposely. The beast controls the society through the 5 Ps: philosophy, politics, the penal system, psychology, and if I didn't get this right, philosophy, psychology, the penal system, politics, and it's in my head. I think I said philosophy. Philosophy, psychology, the penal system, politics. Yeah, I know it's one more. I wrote all of it down, but, you know, this is how he controls society. Polytheism. When I say polytheism, I mean the controlling of religion. See, because you say poly, meaning more than one God. Yeah, the beast controls all the gods in religion. Allah, Jesus, all of that. That's why he allows these things to be practiced in the prison. Notice he allows he allows a Jewish rabbi, he allows a Christian minister, and he allows now a Muslim imam in the prison system. You understand? He does all that purposely so that it can get you in a certain way of thinking. You understand? Because make no mistake about it, once the beast gets you, after you fall through the cracks of his law and order, he gets you in the prison system and he induces his philosophy and his psychology on you. You understand? He lets the philosophy and the psychology loose on you. He starts to go to work on your mind. He starts in this prison system, you understand, after you fell through the cracks of the law and order, once he has you locked in a cage in the prison system and in the penal system, right, he then goes to work on your way of thinking. He goes to work on your beliefs. You understand? Purposely. He programs you so that you will find comfort in being in the penal system. Why you think a lot of these brothers keep going back and forward in jail, back and forward in jail, back and forward in jail? These niggas just keep committing crimes. Now, they know they're going to get caught because the black man is not a good criminal. By nature, the black man is not a good criminal. The white man is. But these niggas keep going back and forth to jail in a rotation. Why? Because they're bred in there to be like that. You understand? In prison, in the penal system, he shows you some sort of authority. He shows you some sort of structure, right? He shows you some sort of structure. He's telling you when to get up, when to go to bed, when to eat. You understand? Like the military, right? He's giving you some sort of structure that you probably never had in your life. And after a while, a black man begins to crave that structure. You understand? He begins to crave that structure. See, because in the world out there, there's no structure for the black man. So the black man does what? He craves structure when he goes inside prison. See, a lot of these guys don't think that they, when they get in court, they get bagged up and they go into jail, that's all done by accident. They want to go to jail. You understand? Because they, like I said, they know they're not going to get away. Because the black man is mentally in prison anyway. He is locked in a submental way of thinking. So to be in a place where there's a structure, where there's a controlled environment, that is promoted to him. In that submental state, that's promoted to him as something good. And he looks for that structure. Because as I said, by nature, the black man wants structure. He just doesn't know how to produce it for himself. He wants some sort of structure. He wants some sort of order. Unfortunately, he falls through the crack or the cracks of it, right? And next thing you know, he is the part and parcel, and he's being used by the system. He's being recycled into the system, in and out, till eventually he can't go out no more. Until they're making prison a livable experience, a life experience. That's what they want to make prison to the black man, a life experience. And a lot of black men are like, okay. That's why they keep going back, because they can't make it out here in the real world. The black man doesn't know how to function, you understand, in an outside world where there's no structure and no law and order. He don't know how to function. Because by nature, when the black man is free, he's supposed to be looking toward codes of conduct to follow. He's supposed to be looking to conduct himself in a powerful setting. He's supposed to be evolving into a power source. And as he's free and not under the mindset or under the submental state of the beast, he's supposed to by nature be evolving into a higher source. But to a lot of black men, they fear this. They fear this evolution that they're supposed to be going through. You understand? They fear this evolution. They fear the evolution that they're supposed to be going through in this state outside the world. And outside the world, they would rather be under the submental correction of the beast. You understand? They would rather be in a structured environment of the beast, like a slave on the plantation. It's no different. Remember when you let the slave off out the plantation? Same way when you let these niggas out of jail, they don't really want to be out of jail. They don't want to be out of jail. That's why they do something to go back. Don't think they're doing it like, I was trying not to get bagged up. Yes, you was. Because, nigga, you wasn't good at it the first time. What made you think you became a better criminal? You ever heard that terminology, you throwing bricks at the penitentiary? You understand? You going through all that. You throwing bricks at the penitentiary and you doing all these things just to go back. Because submentally, they want to be in prison. They want to be locked up. Just like the slaves wanted to be a lot of the slaves, they wanted to be on the plantation. Because that's the only life they understand. That was structure for them. That was rules for them. That was the beast being their mommy and daddy and telling them what to do and giving them chores and things to do, because without that, they didn't have any direction. They didn't have any God or anything to go by. They didn't have it. The beast was their God. He told them what to do. He told them when to get up, when to work, when to go to sleep. And you look at these guys, once they get in jail, they get relegated to that. They get systematically fit in toward that. I mean, yeah, the niggas, they get in there, they smoke their cigarettes, they sneak their weed. The beast allow them to have that. They tell them it's against law, but they know they allow them to do all that. They allow them to smoke their weed in there. They allow them to fight in there, cut each other up. They basically let them do everything that they was doing on the streets, as long as none of the prison guards get hurt. They don't care what these niggas do. They don't care if they stab each other up, rape each other, all the stuff. They don't care about that, because they allow that to them. That's their world. They allow them to be as comfortable as they want to be in their world. The beast just, all he does is govern it and tell them they can't go certain places, they can't leave. That's all the beast does. But he doesn't try to instill a lot of laws in their world, because he understands that he ultimately has control over their lives anyway. It's very deep. It's very mental, very heavy mental. You understand? He doesn't. You think he allow all this stuff that he tells you always against the you ain't supposed to do that in prison, but yet these guys are getting high. They selling drugs and they stabbing each other up. You see the Mexicans, all these guys, the Mexicans, the blacks, everybody, the whites, everybody, the Aryans, everybody in jail. But it's like like they just chilling. It's not a problem. They live there. Their lives are not disturbed. But because the beast understands that he controls the whole system. That's what makes me laugh about these guys. They'll sit up in here and they'll act like they so badass and this, that, and the third, but you niggas in jail. You in a cage like monkeys. You understand? You in jail. Where's the power in that? You badass, you tattooed up, you could get it in, you're fighting over the phone, beating each other up, but your niggas in jail. Do you understand? You in a cage like an animal. These people sitting over you, watching you, telling you what to do, how to eat, how to sleep, how to do all these things. You understand? This is the reality. They are going to basically make that a way of life. You understand? They're making that a way of life for the so-called black race, so that you are out of contact or out of power or out of tune with law and order, because that's your key back to power. You want to know the true key back to power, so-called black man and black woman? Your true key back to becoming or casting off this black image, casting off this black shadow and becoming bright people again? Your true key to power is the ultra standing in the following of law and order amongst yourselves first, and out in the world. And through that understanding or that ultra standing of law and order, and looking above and beyond that and starting to govern yourself on a higher level through codes of conduct, you will find power in these things. You will begin to go above them. You understand? Mentally, you will go above them. You will govern yourself by a higher authority, and then you will be in tune with a higher authority. You understand? You will become tuned into a higher authority. The God race. How is the God race going to connect to a bunch of people who are not orderly and law-abiding people? Niggas. How are they going to connect to people like that? You think the beast is strict? The God race, the Amen beings, they are strict. They keep order here on this planet. They keep biological law going. They keep solar intelligent law going. Yeah, there's a solar intelligent code of conduct. You understand? There's a solar intelligent code of conduct. You understand? And the lower state is a solar intelligent law, but then there's at the upper state is a solar intelligent code of conduct. You understand? We're supposed to be receiving that solar intelligent code of conduct to derive power from it. But you must first see the bigger picture in everything and look above and beyond everybody else. I said the best way to be able to have an ultra standing of people is to overlook them. You understand? The best way to understand people or ultra stand people is to overlook them. What I mean by that, overlook their laws, overlook them, look at the bigger picture beyond them, beyond their ways. What I just did in showing you the mentality of the black man and the white man, because they're very easy to see. By showing you what governs or how they vibrate, you become powerful than them, because now you carry yourself on a higher level. You understand? Govern yourself first and foremost by a code of conduct. In the state of Mentel, we're going to govern ourselves by a code of conduct, not by laws. That's why, you always hear me say I answer to a higher authority. I'm not interested in what's going on here. That's why when y'all tell me things about what the beast is doing, I mean, I know all that stuff, and all the night. That's why I can't listen to the guys talking about Africa and KKK and America and the white man and the politics and Barack. I can't listen to that stuff. I don't care. I don't care what the black man is going through. I don't care what the white man is going through. I don't care about what the human race is going through. I'm vibrating on another frequency. And these broadcasts are meant to pull my people to a different, higher frequency. One where we are governed by a code of conduct, not by laws, not by rituals, not by beliefs, not by simple-minded superstitions, but by codes of conduct. Because in the word conduction, you understand, in the word of conduct, you become a receiver. What did I always tell my people? I said, y'all are receivers. Mentalists are receivers. Right? In order to be a receiver, a true receiver of intelligence, which travels on elecquacity, higher intelligence, mentalic capability, which travels on elecquacity, that is based in a code of conduct, following certain codes of conduct. The beast thinks on a different level than you. Why? Because he's trying to be governed. He's governing himself by codes of conduct. You understand? He doesn't govern himself by the law. He feels that he is above the law. You understand? And we are supposed to be in the bright race above the law. We're supposed to be answering to a higher authority. That doesn't mean, to you simple-minded Negroes out there who might be listening, break the law. That don't mean, yeah, I'm above the law, so I ain't got to pay my goddamn child support. You understand? Or I could rob and steal, or I could smoke weed on the street. No. That is that submental nigga nonsense. This is not for you. Just like how a lot of you niggas get into the moors, y'all only want to do that bullshit because you trying to get out of paying child support. You understand? Or you want to try to get out of a case where you probably got caught on the street smoking some goddamn weed. So next week you got a big red fez on your head, looking like one of them damn monkeys with the damn symbols. You understand? Because you niggas trying to be the case. You trying to get over. That's that submental mindset the beast implanted in you. Trying to figure out a way to break the law. Trying to get over. You understand that? That's really what it is. He still implanted that criminal mentality in you. That artificial implant where you the thug, you the hood, you the criminal, you the scumbag. You the nigga pissing in the elevator. You the one shooting over your people's heads, making the projects of wherever you live a living hell. You understand? Because you just a badass, right? Then when you get around your slave master, when you go to prison, then you a model citizen. Well, you niggas cut each other up and stab each other, and the beasts sit around and laugh at y'all. You niggas walking around with $150s in your goddamn face like idiots, cut all up and stabbed all like a bunch of jackasses. That was real smart. You understand? That's the image we want to uphold. Yeah, that's what we want for the future. You know? That's the image we want to uphold. That's the image we want to hear in the music where you niggas rapping about. Bunch of simple-minded nigga nonsense. No, not amongst the bright race. See, as we moving forward, as we moving forward and we moving beyond that stupidity, we are in a state of evolution. We're moving away from this nigga nonsense. It's ignorance. We are becoming people who are governed beyond law and order, people who are answering above this authority. We tune out of the things that take place here. We're not concerned. We're not concerned with what goes on here. The mentalists, those of you who know what I'm speaking about, those of you who are potential members of the state of mental, we're not interested. That's why I can talk about these things, because I am not a part of these things. I'm not interested in the black man. I'm not interested in the white man. I'm not interested in the human race. We are the almond race. We are an evolutionary race of people who are evolving out of the black race. We are evolving mentally out of the black race. We are coming out of the darkness and the ignorance. No, we're not like them just because we share the same complexion. Though you may be my color, you are not my kind. I'm governed by a higher authority, a code of conduct. Mentellect is a code of conduct. It operates as a code of conduct. It operates as a state of higher intelligence. All right? It is a way of life. It is an intelligence, not a knowledge, an intelligence. A sister said something powerful to me. She said you shouldn't refer to mentellect as knowledge. This is too high to call it knowledge. And I said, you know what, she's right. So I said I'll refer to mentellect as intelligence, just streams of intelligence. That's it. Higher levels of intelligence, continuous levels of intelligence for those who are chosen to receive higher intelligence as mentellect. Right? This is real. This is the evolution of a people who are governed by codes of conduct. God, Amen, the true and living God, Amen, deals with those in power who are receiving codes of conduct. People who are receiving power on earth, mental power, advanced power. People who are vibrating on a high mental frequency. You understand? This is who the true and living God, Amen, deals with, an advanced, bright man, so-called black man. All right? We'll be right back. Blue 6. The black man by nature will always try to find codes of conduct in the laws that he is under. I don't care if it's religious law, cultural law, ritual. He will always find or will always try to find codes of conduct, meaning he will try to find codes of power, or he will always try to find some sort of power or something to empower himself in these religious laws or these religious laws and orders. Give you a good example of that. Look at Islam, right? Look what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and them did with Islam. Before the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and them got in touch with Islam, Islam was some old, tired desert religion of some Arabs. Next thing you know, it's tribe of Shabazz. They, coming from different, they talking about coming from different planets with Islam and, all this stuff. So the black man found power and made himself God in Islam, right? Because he will always try to find a code of conduct. He will always try to find a path to power through the laws and order. He will try to find his way back naturally to a path of power. What did the 5%ers do? Islam, I, self, Lord, and Master. He made an acronym out of an old, worn-out ass religion. They made a philosophy out of that to empower themselves. They used that religious law and order as a code of conduct, because that's what the black man does by nature. He's trying to find his way back to power. He doesn't understand that. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that. He's trying to find his way back. He doesn't understand that he's trying to, attach to something higher. The black man gets in Islam and he makes Islam his law. They tell you in Islam, like the robots and the Arabs and them, they try to get you to pray 5 times a day. What's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did? We praying 7 times a day. Right? They Juma is Friday, our Juma is Wednesday. So we always try to bring our energy and our power to it. We always try to create a code of conduct out of it. We always try to create a code of conduct out of it. You understand? We always try to find power, reception, what we can receive. Right? We was the ones who were talking about, I'm trying to receive what you're saying. I'm trying to receive what you're saying. We're trying to get a spark. We're trying to pick the frequency, or pick all these frequencies that's coming through, whether we call it spiritual connection or whatever. We're trying to pick the frequency and pick the messages out of the light. We're trying to pick up power. We're trying to find codes or paths to power. Always. We're trying to unlock the encoded messages in light. We're trying to subconsciously unlock codes and bring things out that will empower us. The beast, he's on another level. They just trying to stay in a realm or stay in an order. They're trying to stay structured in these beliefs. You understand? He's trying to stay structured in these beliefs. We are trying to find our path out of here, mentally and physically, as a bright race of people. This is reality. We are not meant to stay bound by law. We're not meant to stay bound by gravitational law. We are levitational beings. We are levitational beings. Why? Because we come from a planet, we come from an atmosphere that has no boundaries, that has no gravitational pull. Yet, we are being pulled down and weighed down in the planet based on the iron in our blood. Okay? We are supposed to be levitational beings. Look at our hair. Our hair grows up in the air. This planet, the growth of vegetation on this planet is based in levitational lift. You understand? Not gravitational pull. Everything on the planet grows up naturally as a levitational lift because these things were implanted here just as we were implanted here. The only things that have a gravitational pull here are the things that were birthed here, that were born here, like your human race, which is why their hair drags down to the ground, which is why their hair grows downward, because they are under gravitational law. We are supposed to be under levitational lift or levitational conduction. That's what we're supposed to be as the almond beings. We're supposed to be flying. That's what they said when they told you the story about Jesus, him walking on water and all that. Like I said, obviously somebody saw men walking on water. That's where they got the whole idea of Jesus walking on water. That's levitation. You understand? Somebody had to see that in order to describe that in this character called Jesus. People were down here walking on water, flying in the air. That's why they drew like I said, that's why they drew the ancient Kemites with wings. The ancient Nubian gods, the almond beings, they drew them with wings in the statues because they were down here flying. They were moving on a levitational lift, which is which carries them by electrical current through the air. Y'all supposed to move on electrical current through the air and humming and vibration the same way bees move through the air. If you listen to a bee buzzing, it is actually moving on an electrical current. That's why when they do the Wi-Fi through the air, the Wi-Fi is killing the bees because it's killing them through electrical current. It's shorting out their current. It's shorting out their power that they vibrate on. That's why the Wi-Fi is killing them. You understand? Check it out. You know? You're supposed to be moving on a current as well. That's why I told you, I said us as mentalists, we don't eat land animals. We only eat birds and fish and alkaline greens. Why I said birds and fish? Because the fish move through the water fast because they are moving on an electrical current. You understand that? You know? They're moving on an electrical current. You know, as they're moving on an electrical current through the water, as the birds are moving on an electrical current through the air, because electrical current, you know, as electrical current flows through all of these things, electrical current is constantly flowing through air, constantly flowing through water, which is why the Egyptians drew on the symbols. They drew those squiggly lines on, you know, when they showed water, that squiggly line represented current. You understand? It represented current, power. And you're supposed to be able to move on current. Current carries you. You have electrical current or solar current running through your body. Unlike the beast, they don't have that. They are governed by gravitation of water. Why? Because they come out of the water. That's why they are based in the gravitational pull. But a lot of them are now learning how to do a levitational lift. But it takes the coming together of all of them. That's why I mentioned that guy Chris Angel. You understand? I mentioned the guy Chris Angel because these guys, his people all got together and they're tapping into the secret or into the advanced intelligence of levitation. You see him doing all this levitational stuff and whatnot. He'll hover off the ground for like 3 or 4 minutes and drop back down. We're supposed to be doing that, you know? But like I said, and the beast knows that. That current and that intelligence is coming to the planet, but as the black race, y'all not going to get that. As people in darkness, you're not going to be able to get in tune with that because y'all still want to be Africans. You still want to be Moorish science. You still want to be Muslims and Christians and Israelites and 5%ers. Y'all still want to be that. Y'all still want to vibrate into these laws and orders in this submental state under the beast, because all of those things fit into his law and order system. You understand? That's why he allows them to practice this nonsense in prison. You understand that? He does all this purposely. We are supposed to be vibrating on a higher current, a code of conduct. Code of conduction will always signal mental power. People who are willing to structure and organize themselves in an order. No difference, no one popping out of frame, one structured order. You know? One structured order. You know? We're supposed to be moving in a flowing current, a procession, right? A flowing procession, a current. We are all natural conductors. That's what we're supposed to be. There's not supposed to be no way the beast is ruling us. No way. You know why why that's done? Because a lot of our people are burnt out. The reception is burnt out. Upon our people bringing life to the planet, bringing creation to the planet, creation to the solar system, a lot of our people started to power down. What do I mean by that? We were part of the creation of the planet as those solar intelligent beings who sent messages into the atmosphere, who sent pieces of material or mass into a spinning rotation to create the earth. They got into a gravitational pull, right? And started the rotation going, thus throwing 9 other planets into rotation as well to create your solar system, creating water down here out of fire and out of air to create the artificial element of water on this planet to breathe life out of, because water is an artificial element that fell under the law and order of this planet. As all of this was being done, right, as a time frame started to develop where all these things started to come into frame and dimensions were forming and dimensions were being formed by the almond beings or time rotations around the planet, so then a law and an order had to be made, because the law and order was based on time and structure. And if you don't understand the law and the order or the time and the structure in which these things exist and why they exist, then you will not sit over them. You understand? As you're naturally supposed to. You have to understand this, the purpose of why things are in order and in structure before you are able to sit over them again. Why that is necessary. You understand? Why order is necessary. The black race doesn't understand that. This is why we will always fall out of power. We will always be out of power. It doesn't matter how many rituals you repeat. It doesn't matter how many exercises you do. If you do not understand or have an understanding of following law and order, and then moving beyond that, you understand? To codes of conduct. Actually, I'm not even saying it right. You're not supposed to be following law and order. You're supposed to be following codes of conduction or codes of conduct to get you beyond these powers. You're supposed to be above the law. The law is for the humans. The law is for the savages. The law is for the beast, for your East Indians, your white man, your Asians. That's who the law was really for originally, not for us. The codes of conduct was for us so that we can keep receiving reception from the God race in this form, in this environment, to keep us in tune and ahead of everybody else. You understand? One nation under God. Who was the gods that nation was under? Was supposed to be you 200 fallen messengers, you descendants of the 200 fallen messengers. You were the one nation under God. That's why I tell you there is only one universe, there's only one truth, and there's only one society, one nation. That's it. Not no many. That's why the beast said, out of many, one. I don't know, what is it, uno, domine, I forgot how he said it in Latin. because he understood that that came from us. Because out of one, that means there is no confusion. The conduction, or the code of conduction, flows in a linear current. You understand that? The code of conduction, the code of mental thought, flows in one direction, one straight line, down through 13 dimensions to reach certain people. Down, like they said, a wormhole, down the ladder to reach certain people. It flows outside of this universe, or outside of this solar system, from the universe, from the almond beings to us, receiving and sending, based on the code of conduct. I said when I told you when I said I followed I answered to a higher authority, I meant I govern myself by codes of conduct. You understand? I don't govern myself by laws. Everything in this society, in this submental state, is based on laws and order. You understand? The code of conduct, those who govern themselves by codes of conduct, are governed in a whole different state of order, a higher order, an advanced order. You got the submental order, and you got the mental order. The mental order is the code of conduction, or the codes of conduct. And the submental order is the law and the order, or the laws. Right? Because if you take law and you turn it backwards, you see the word wall. And what does a wall do? A wall blocks you from something. You understand? It blocks you. It keeps you under something. It keeps you cut off from something. You understand? That's what the law was meant to do. It was meant to keep you cut off from your code of conduction. You understand? The law was made to keep you powerless in a sense, because you were supposed to be vibrating on a higher mental frequency. You were supposed to be above the law. That's where the beast gets that whole title of being above the law. That came from your elite. But they got that from you. They got that from the pharaohs and the priests of Amen, who were above the law. They made the law and gave it to the people. They made the religion and gave it to the people. They made the spiritual practices and gave it to the people as a way to discipline them, as a way to govern them, because these people were out of order. Without that, these people would be out of order. Without law and order in this society, people would be it would be chaos here. You understand? It would be chaos. So I understand why the beast has law and order. I understand why he does what he does, why he locks people up, because our people are supposed to be doing the same thing. We're supposed to be doing that. The black man wouldn't be responsible for doing that. Like I said, you take the society down, and all your black revolutionary niggas and all these ones who talk all this stuff, you think they're going to stand up and put a police force together, DEA and all this other stuff, and replace the beast? These niggas not going to do that. They're not going to do that, because that takes responsibility. I'm going to tell you something. Like I said, the beast actually wants our people to take responsibility for themselves and for the planet. That's why he really don't want to give you welfare no more. He don't want to give you jobs no more. He don't want to do that. You understand? The guy, he's dead now. What's his name? The guy who played in Planet Apes. He said that back in 1971, he did an interview with Playboy, Charlton Heston. You know, Moses. You're Moses. He said, the blacks want to riot and do this stuff. These people are not responsible. He said, why would we put society in the hands of irresponsible people? The black race is irresponsible. Let's own up to it. That's who they are. So as we are evolving into the bright race, we will not do what they do or what they have done. We will not follow the ways of the black race. Because we have to, in order, when you see me on Facebook pointing out the negative ways of the black race, that's necessary so that we can say, oh, shit, I don't want to be part of that. Excuse me for saying it like that. Is that what I'm supposed to be part of? Is that what I'm supposed to be answering to? You supposed to be, oh, hell no. You understand? No. You're supposed to be like, I don't want to be part of that. But in their mindset, when you say that we only good to be janitors, and that's how they see us. That's how they see us. And because the black man refuses to get up and do anything for himself because he refuses to take power and take control of his own image, to build his own Hollywood, to build his own motion picture company, to do anything for himself, then you will always be in their sight and they will always define you. They will always control your image. And the man who controls your image is your God. You understand? The beast created this image of the black man. Lazy, foot shuffling, shiftless, criminal-minded. The beast created that. He created that image, that false image of the so-called black man. You understand? He gave that false image, and the black man lives it out. You understand? He said, he told a black man, you a foot-shuffling Uncle Tom Coon, watermelon-eating nigga. And what they do, you found some simple-minded niggas back then to play those roles. And something like, the white man should have been painting his face up black before a black man played any of these roles. You understand? Because they fit in. The black race decided to fit in. Because they wanted to fit in, they decided to fit in any way they could, be it negative. And you hear these Negroes talking about, well, you know, I had to do that so I could, so that I could knock down some doors. No, you wanted to fit into their law. You wanted to fit into that world. You wanted to fit into that submental state. You wanted to fit into their world where under their law, under their order, under their sight, in their vision, you are subhuman. You are submental. That's what the black race is to them, submental people, subhuman. You have went from being over everybody to subhuman. That's how they see you. The black race, which is a degenerate version of the bright race. I'm going to say it again. The black race, which is a degenerate version of the bright race, is in the mind and in the sight of the beast, subhuman. And you know what? The beast is right. The black race is subhuman now. They are under the humans. You understand? They are the lowest ones on the totem pole. They fall under the law and order of the beast instead of reaching to a higher code of conduct of the God race, of the almond beings. I came to tell my people who you truly are, the bright ones who will accept this message. I came to tell my people who you really are. Logically, factually, commonsensical knowledge. Or should I say intelligence. I came to tell my people who you are in this new day and time, who you always were upon waking up in this day and time, the ones of our people who can still be woken up. But then you got a lot of our people who still want to stay or fall in the law. They want to fall in between the cracks. They want to still be with the beast. They want to still fit inside of his law and his order. They want to be under his law. They want to be under his law of religion. They want to be under, because like I said, it's not just the penal system. I said the black man falls under all five of these P's. You understand? Under the polytheism, Islam, Christianity, Judaism. Under his philosophy, metaphysics. You understand? Under his politics, Democrat, Republican. Under his psychology, what you niggas study. You understand? And his philosophy, what I said, and his I think I said his politics. No, I said all five of them. But the black man fits in under these laws. And his penal system, his prison system. You guys want to be criminals, so you fit perfectly under his law. You understand? That's right. The black man has become an animal, just like the beast. You got the black beast. You understand? So now when you talk about the beast, it includes the black man now. He will never receive power. You understand? But when you start to clean yourself up, and like I said, the beast recognized that, and people like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the nation and things like that, he started to see that these people were going to be governed by a higher authority. These people had a new look on their face, a bright look on their face, that shine on their face. When you saw the old Nation of Islam and whatnot, you saw a shine on their face. You saw a new light in their eyes. The beast recognized that, and he feared that because he saw an old order coming back. That power of Amen was coming back, and though they were calling some after Allah, you understand? But that wasn't the power in their eyes, because if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching Islam through a perspective of Freemasonry, which he was, then the true and living God that he was actually talking about was Amun, not Allah. Allah is the Arab God. They were teaching Islam through Freemasonry, and that is governed by codes and conduct. You understand? The light started to rise in those people again. You understand that? Questions, comments. Questions, comments. Call up. Feel free. Ask me anything. I'm here to, answer your questions. I will play Earth, Wind, and Fire. Oh, well, let me take this call first, and then I'll play. I guess 706 got a question, but I'll take it anyway. I usually just click on, but I'll see. 706?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, brother?
I got a question.
Oh, you got a question? Okay.
I got a question. How do you know if you are receiving higher intelligence?
If the things I'm saying to you on my radio broadcast are resonating in your head is true, then you are receiving it.
Okay.
See, because you got the black race. Those of our people who are in darkness. This is not even going to go into their head. That just shows you right there that you're different already.
Oh, okay.
If you are receiving this and you are feeling the power from my words and this knowledge of intellect is going in, and you're receiving this, and you're starting to visualize this, and you can see yourself living like this and being of this collective and living this life and this and this intelligence of intellect and being a part of this, then you are receiving it. But those are our people who are, they still out here smoking weed. They caught up in hip hop. They doing this. It's not going in their head. That shows you that we're not the same.
Okay.
Right.
Got it.
All right. We're going to play a little Earth, Wind, and Fire. Shining Star. We'll be right back. We got another call I'm going to take, 423.
Yeah, hey, what's up, man? Okay.
Hey, brother, how you doing? 423. All right.
All right. I was just listening to the guy that just came on, and he was asking, how do we know we're receiving, this information and everything? One thing I do want to share is that, like when you sit down as a child, and they put a pen in your hand, whether it's your left or your right, and you begin to use that pen. Just say you started out right-handed, and you use the pen and you begin to write with your right hand, and you begin to go towards the right. So you writing with your right hand, and you're going towards your right. But what helped me was that when I started just in exercising, just picking up the pen, putting it in my right hand, and going to the left. Also picking up the same pen, putting it in my left hand, and going to the right. And picking up the pen, putting it in my left hand, and going to the right. What I found out when you begin to just do those little exercising, then you begin to open up centers that you hadn't used before. And that, in turn, help you pick up on information, So that's something I just wanted to share, just something people can start doing, because I feel like when you pick up the pen and you put it in your right hand and you go from left to right or from right to far right, then you just using that one particular, it's almost like you caged in. But if you started using your other hand, or you start using the same hand and going a different way, up and down, to the left, to the right, from right to the left, that also causes your brain to open up to different channels of learning. So you just won't be just picking up the pen and going one way. So that's another way to open up your mind, open up your thought frame to just start picking up information. And the Armenian race will begin to send you, information according to how you, practice with just a pen. So I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Okay. All right.
I mean, people can just sit down and practice, if it's 5 or 10 minutes a day. You know what I'm saying? If they're used to writing with their right hand going to the right, they can pick up the pen, use their right hand and go to the left, and try to do the words, the other way around, or they can use the other hand. But if they don't never try this thing, then they'll never know. So the only way for us to really set ourselves down and come to a starting point all over again where we can start receiving this information is to try something different.
Mm-hmm.
So just something I thought I'd share with you guys.
Okay. Thank you, brother.
Okay,
right.
You're welcome.
We got another question. 478. 478.
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
How are you today? I'm doing good. I got two questions. One question is, could you repeat for me the 5 systems that govern the black race? And also, I wanted to know if it's possible for a person to live by the natural codes of conduct and not even be aware that they're called to a higher order.
Okay. Well, there's the it's not just the black race. It governs this whole society. It governs the whole planet. Those people who are considered to be the pawns in society. It's the penal system, which is your prison system and your law and order system. It's your philosophy, right, which is things like your metaphysics and masonry and the things that, people uphold. That's your philosophy. Your psychology, which basically controls how you think and whatnot, how the beast tries to, through psychology and things like that, control your mind. So I say the polytheism, which is your religion, right, and your politics.
Thank you.
Which is, and yes, I mean, as far as codes of conduct, that is based on a higher intelligence of carrying yourself a certain way, which is what we were trying to instill collectively in the state of mental, because, each of us will carry certain bits and pieces of it, but the whole point of what we was trying to do in the state of mental is to get us to live this way collectively, because, each one of us had bits and pieces of intelligence separately, but the thing was to bring it all together collectively, to strengthen that power and to bring that code of conduction into this atmosphere. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Second. Questions, comments. No, well, let me say this. I was looking in the chat room and she said, Nubin, you have no gray areas. Your truth is really the truth. Yeah. Well, I'll never say it's my truth. I said it's the truth of Amen. It's Amen's truth. It's the God race. This race of the truth of the God race. It's the only truth. There's no gray areas and whatnot. Our people, we've been wanting the truth, and, we have the truth on earth with us right now. Now we have to come together collectively and accept it if we are going to advance and evolve and come back into that seat of power again, if that's what we truly want. A lot of our people are still caught in past and present things, a lot of our people are still, caught in past and present ways of thinking, and we moving on. I had somebody, who was trying to pull me back into the whole, they want me to align myself with the whole Freemasonry thing and whatnot, and, they want me to align myself with all of that, and I'm like, why are you worried about me aligning? I said, I'm not interested in Freemasonry. I'm not interested in nothing that y'all doing at this time. Not interested. Why? I'm not interested in nothing nobody is doing in the past and the present. I'm only interested in the future intelligence of my people. That's it. You understand? People want to pull you into things. People want to argue with you. People want to, make you, people want to. I'm like, you can go and practice Freemasonry if you want. You can practice Islam, Christianity, everything. I know what I'm receiving. I'm going with what I'm receiving. You can receive whatever you want to receive. I'm not interested. I just had this argument, and this person was asking me questions. So excuse me if I'm kind of going between, because this person's inboxing me and asking me questions about why I'm not following the Freemasonry, why I'm not, doing this, that, and the third. And I'm like, I'm not interested in that. That's of the past and the present. I'm only interested in the future. You know what I'm saying? I'm typing this in right now as I'm talking to y'all, and I'm trying to keep, focus on the show. But I'm not, forget that person. I'll answer them when I answer them. I'm with y'all now. I'm only interested in what's coming through. I'm not interested in what's here already. I'm not interested in what's past and prologue. You know, I'm like, people want to pull you in because they need you. They need your power to give them validity. If I'm not important, if I'm not, find power within yourself. I never tell nobody not to practice Christianity, Islam, Judaism. You go ahead and practice it. Y'all stay there. We going someplace else. As those of you who've been in tune with what I've been teaching in the knowledge of intellect, you obviously see we going someplace else. You understand? I'm taking y'all someplace else. Those who've been in the Supermen, Superwomen project, I'm taking y'all someplace else. You understand? So I'm not interested in what other people are talking about. I'm not interested in not interested in Masonry, Egyptology, Islam, Christianity, Judaism. I'm not trying to mix in intellect with any of that because it won't mesh, and it's not going to matter. You understand? I can name 1,000 old religions that passed off the scene thousands of years ago that you probably wouldn't even recognize their damn names. But that just goes to show you that just as those philosophies that came of that time came and went, so will these philosophies and beliefs of Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. In time, they will go too. You understand? The beast told you that in the book of Eli, when it wasn't no more religion. He showed you that. That's going to happen again. You understand? But what will stay here, what will constantly and continuously resonate in the minds of the bright ones, the elect, is intellect, the intelligence of God. You understand? So this is what I'm telling, this is what the message I'm giving to my people. I'm letting this person know I'm going to answer you. So, questions, comments. People don't want you to move on. That's something you're going to find within the black race and people that were once in your life. People don't want you to move on. You understand? Their degrees, their intelligence is limited, and they want you to limit yourself because it makes them feel better about themselves. I had people, trust me, I done had people turn their backs on me. My brother, my so-called friends turned their backs on me when I started teaching and I started receiving this knowledge. You understand? I had people turn their back on me, but they didn't know what I saw. They didn't see what I saw. You understand? That made me come out and do this. I didn't think I was going to be doing this. They didn't see what I saw, but then part of me knew I was supposed to be doing something more. You understand? They want to hold you back with them because it makes them feel comfortable. They want to hold you back because it makes them feel good. It makes them, they want you back in that place because it's not about your evolution with them. You understand? It's about your you giving purpose to their life. A lot of people want you back in the church. They want you back in religion. They want you back in Masonry. They want you back in the mosque. They want you back in the Moorish Science Temple. They want you back in all these things because they don't want you to move on. They'll say, "Oh, who's this guy? The intellectual? He full of shit." I said it. I'm sorry. I said it. He bullshitting y'all. But obviously, what I'm saying is resonating in the minds of my people as truth. The truth, not my truth. The truth. That's all I came giving. I don't have anything to lie about. I'm not gaining anything from this. What's my motivation for lying? That they say I'm lying, I'm making things up. I don't have a motivation. Them guys got more of a motivation than me. They probably getting paid and getting money, selling books and all, so they making money off of that. I'm not making any money from this. And so what? Like I said, my scope is bigger than the money. You understand? I want to see my people evolve. Why? It's very simple. I want to have children. I want to see them in a better place mentally and physically. So I know that if what we do right now, even if I'm not here, what I'm starting right now, what I'm pushing right now, you understand? What I'm pushing right now, this is going to evolve them. That's what I look forward to, the bigger picture, because I'm going to come back through their bloodline, through that genetic, just as all of you will. Even if you ain't here 100 years from now, 200 years from now, you will be back through that bloodline, through that genetic. You will continuously come back as the bright ones. The bright ones will always shine in the darkness. You will always resonate and vibrate on codes of conduction. That's real. Those of our people who are in darkness, You understand? Those of our people who are in darkness, they're not going to see it. You understand that? Those of our people who are in darkness are not going to see it. But they want to pull you back into the darkness. They want to pull you back into the state of ignorance. You understand? They want to pull, they want to pull you back. This person is inboxing me, and I accepted him as a friend. My thing is, and I'm going to share this with y'all while I'm here, this person inboxing me and saying, what's this mental you teaching and this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 blah. And, he's associated with Dr. York, and I'm like, why are you wasting time with me? I told y'all I moved on. Why are you wasting time with me? If I'm not important, why do you care what I'm teaching and doing? I'm not talking about y'all. I'm not interested in y'all. Never said nothing bad about anybody. Never said nothing bad about Dr. York, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I love both of those men. I just moved on. This person going hard, inboxing me, telling me I'm supposed to be doing this, that, and that. Why I'm not with the lodge, I'm not doing this. I said I moved on. I'm not teaching what they taught. I moved on. You understand? What's this stuff you teaching and whatnot? It's not for you. Don't worry about it. You understand? I share my life with you. I tell you the funny things that happen. This person inboxing me now. I told the person I'm doing a broadcast. I can't answer you and do the broadcast, even though I already know he made his mind. He came with the intention of you got to get yourself in the lodge. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I knew the brother and whatnot, but he hell bent on come back. When you coming back, brother? You gave an oath, and I don't belong to you niggas. I don't belong to y'all. I came from Amen. I don't come from you niggas. I don't owe you nothing. I'm not here to make y'all feel good. You understand? I'm here to raise my people from the dead. You understand? Because I was in a place, like I said, where I could have been dead many times. You understand that? But you always going to have the black race. You always going to have some niggas who come in like they trying to help you, trying to put your light out. You understand? I'm going to have to, take a Facebook dump again. I might have to dump out some of my Facebook friends I see again. Because, like I said, I'm the type of person, I accept everybody. You know what I mean? My thing, like I said, why are you concerned with me? People, and like I said, I'll share this with y'all because, I say this, because y'all going to have people just like this in your life, people who want you to fall in that law. Because when they trying to push Masonry, they trying to push Islam, they trying to push all these Pan-Africanism, because that's all this guy's pushing to me. You trying to push these things to people, they want you to fall within the law. You understand? Above, in that submental state. Above these things is the codes of conduct, the codes of real power and conduction, mental power, mind power, the things we should be doing. Keying in on our true mental capabilities. We in the time right now. We in the 21st century, as the B says. We in the time right now. We are in the right coordinates right now to receive this intelligence here on earth. And you're going to see many of our people. It's going to be your lovers, your friends, your brothers, your sisters, your mothers, your fathers, the ones who are not of the bright race. They're going to try and slow you down. Oh, who is this crazy guy talking, this, that, and the third. But you hear something in my voice. You hear the logic in what's being said. You listen through all the, sometimes I get a little crazy with my language and whatnot, but you heard through all of that because it's resonating. You understand? They want you to go backwards. They want you to come away from the light. They want you back in darkness. You understand? We moving forward into the light. The codes of conduction. Right? Let me see where we at. Oh, we got 12 minutes. Let me go ahead and answer these last questions. Let me see something. All right, I'm going to answer because we got 12 minutes left. Well, yeah, we're doing the countdown, so I want to make sure I answer everything as usual. Since we don't have any more questions and whatnot, I'm going to check to make sure. 478, you don't have any questions. I answered yours, right?
Yes,
hello?
you did.
Okay,
yes,
I'll just
you
make
did.
sure. All right, sister. Okay. All right. What is the purpose of God's law? To keep order on the planet. Simple. The whole purpose of God's law, whether it was the 10 commandments that the Israelites took from the 613 negative confessions of the Kemites or the so-called ancient Egyptians, or the 614 laws or codes of Hammurabi, which is where you get the word rabbi from, a lord, a master, from. which ended up being 10 commandments because they couldn't keep 613 of them. Obviously, they lost a lot of them. And the whole thing was to keep order on the planet, because without order, there's chaos. And the planet has to mirror the biological structure of the solar system, and the biostructure of the solar system, and the biological structure of the human body and the almond body. We have to mirror that on Earth. In other words, just as we have an order and how our body works, how the blood is pumping through from our heart to the ventricles and going out, there's a systematic order. There's a systematic order on this in our biological makeup and structure. There also has to be a systematic order on the planet, which is what the purpose of God or the almond being sending this law and order here on the earth to govern the people, was to keep order. Because without that, there would be chaos, and your bodily functions couldn't evolve in a logical state without this order. Because if you were constantly in a state of crisis, if there was chaos and order and if there was chaos and confusion that was going on and nothing was in order, you would die after a while, because you were in a state of constant crisis. Your body couldn't function. You couldn't rest. You couldn't think. You understand? You would age yourself. That's why a lot of our people died in bondage and in slavery, because, they were in a constant state of chaos, and our people were dying at early ages, in their 40s and 50s. A lot of our people didn't make it to be old. You understand? They looked older. If you look at the black race prior to 1970 and our people, they looked older than what they were. Reason why is because they were constantly in a state of crisis and chaos, going through civil rights and things like that. So the beast was aging our people. You understand? So we had to have order on this planet. We had to have law. We had to have things kept in order and in structure. You understand? So that we can keep our biological order going. Everything has to mirror, the structure. Does God have real law? Yeah, God does have real law. The beast is actually living out the law of God. He's keeping order. That's why he's in power right now, until our people are powered up to start to take that responsibility to keep order, because we were the first order and law keepers on the planet. You understand? Law and order came from us, not the beast. But he flipped it around. Now we against the law and the order, just like he always doing. We accepted this madness as the black race.